green and gold, we stand cheering loud in the cold, with hearts full of pride. Our stories untold, victory in our eyes as a die-hard fan. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers. Through triumph and defeat, through triumph, we hold all the line. With every beat, the long body shines, and we scream and we bite for green and gold pride. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers. We're die-hard Packers.
All right, what is up, everybody? We are joined today with an absolute legend, who I am pumped. This has been a long time coming for this podcast. We got Mr. Ben Chan, Jeopardy champion, in the building. What is up?
Hey, Matt.
Let's give a round of applause to this man. How we doing, dude?
Good. I got my, my special gold coat on for the podcast today, so I'm excited. Yeah, finally made it. I'm glad we got the internet situation sorted out. So,
yeah,
I'm ready for anything.
Dude, I have new internet now. Fiber internet. Do you know what fiber internet is? Because you're smart, right?
I have fiber internet too.
Yeah, because you're smart. So you know. So if I have the same internet as Ben Chan, I know I'm in a good situation. But Ben, before we get into this conversation, I want to let everyone know what we're going to talk about today. I want to know the ins and outs. How did you become a Jeopardy champion? I want to know what has to happen to be in a situation, because maybe I want to be a Jeopardy champion too. You know what I mean? So we're gonna figure all that out. Also, I have some Packers trivia for you, and we're gonna figure that stuff out. See how because obviously you're very smart, but I want to see how smart you are with the Packers stuff. But before we get into all that, let's give a shout to some sponsors. Nicolay Law. You get hurt in an accident, Ben? It sucks. You miss work. And then the insurance companies maybe don't want to pay you, maybe whatever. It's kind of shady. And then Nicolay Law is going to stand up for you and get you what you deserve. So check out nicolaylaw.com if you're hurt in an accident. And in Quick Trip, you live in Green Bay, Ben. You're a Green Bay resident. How often do you go to Quick Trip?
Get my Karuba Gold. Got to get my Karuba Gold coffee.
You know what I mean?
Probably 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, so if you're heading to Green Bay for this whatever Packer game this season, be sure to check out Quick Trip. They got all the needs you need. They got the beer, they got the cheese curds, they got the burgers, they got the brats, they got all the stuff that one needs at a tailgate situation. And go to Quick Trip, and you will not have to worry about that situation. But Ben, you're on the fence.
They'll take care of you at Quick Trip.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely taking care of you. So, Ben, I've only met you once before. We took a picture over by the fence. It wasn't a real long meetup. I felt like Christy, she was on a mission that day. You know what I mean? And so it was a few minutes. But so it's not good to meet you. It's good to. But I feel like we're going to have by the end of this situation, by the end of this conversation, we're going to be best pals.
No, I think that's what the plan. We met briefly. I forgot which game was that? You basically called the final score correctly.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I never remember what my prediction was. It's usually way off.
You called it. I can take it down. If I look back, I think you called 31-17, and it wound up. It was the Cardinals game.
All right.
And you said it was going to be Packers 31, Cardinals 17, and it was something like that. And it was Packers 34, Cardinals 13.
Dude, that's
good. Impressive.
Yeah. So, is that why you're so smart? Because your memory is so good?
Yeah. I mean, it helps. It's hard to tell. I don't know. I think I have good memory for some things, not so good memory for other things. So it just happens that the things that for Jeopardy, it's if you care about the same things that the show cares about, then it's going to be very easy, right? If you don't care about the things the show cares about, it's not going to be very easy. So I think, in general, memory is very tied to the things you care about. So you're going to have a good memory for the things you care about. You're not going to have a good memory for things you don't care about, right?
Yeah, and that's actually so smart, because That's why I don't know anything useful, because I don't care about the stuff that's important. Like I remember getting like my 6th grade bully. I remember that dude, and I still sometimes think about him. Like, I hope he's not doing well. No, no, I'm kidding. But like, yeah, like you do like things that, because I'll remember like some Packers stuff, but like not like really important stuff. Like, someone tell me right now, who's the 17th president? I couldn't tell you. Do you know right now, 17th president?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know. I think it's Lincoln is 16, so 17 would be Andrew Johnson, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. And
No, it's not very useful. I knew that. I wouldn't have known that 2 years ago before I was on the show, but before going on Jeopardy, you kind of memorize that kind of thing.
Yeah, all right. So let's get to some questions here that I have, and everyone watching, we're gonna try to
take it easy on me.
Section. Oh, I'm definitely gonna, but I got some questions to ask you, because first of all, like I consider myself kind of a moron, right? And are you technically a genius, or is that just stupid people? I mean, I'm not, but like I know that you're like a modest guy, but like, would other people, smart people? Not me, but smart people, would they call you a genius?
I think smart people don't call up. I think, it's like, I think there are people. Genius is very specialized. I think in the places that I don't know that I would talk about it, like, and it's not an all-purpose thing. Like, so you can be a genius at this and a genius at that. I think is what I would think, right? Like. Like when Aaron Rodgers was at his best, he was a genius at what he was doing, right? Like,
yeah.
Right?
Like Vince.
But he's not like is he an all?
Yeah.
Was he all around? There's no such thing as like an all-around genius, I don't think.
See. Oh man, we're learning stuff over here today. No, because that's actually really smart, because I don't think I'm a genius at anything. I don't
know.
Most people like. You hope to be a genius at one thing. But anyways, we're going to get to some questions over here. And hammer the chat.
I'm looking at I see some. They're good questions in the chat already.
Yeah. It's hard for me to see because I got to figure out my TV situation.
You don't have a producer looking at these questions? It's just us?
No, I don't. Yeah, it's just us. I don't have an employee. But
Lori, Lori has. Oh, there's Christy.
We'll check out Lori here in a second. But she said, Ben Chan, you're wearing the special coat. It made my Thanksgiving. There you go. Let's find Lori's question. She's probably got a better one. I'm just kidding, Christy.
Here it is.
We love Christy.
What is the best piece of advice you have both ever received?
Ooh, that's a good question. What's the best advice you ever received?
I don't. I think it's actually one of my best friends. At some point, she said to me, "It's like, oh, you're not normal. Why are you trying so hard to be normal?" And so it's helpful. It's like it was helpful. Like that was something that I didn't realize that I was trying to do, was just, trying to be normal.
Yeah.
So like, why try so hard to be normal if you're not normal?
Yeah. And actually similar, it was like Preston Smith from the Packers. He said, he probably won't even like remember it, but he said, because like I get nervous like being in certain situations, like with certain people, like, even like now I'm a little nervous. That's why I drink. You know what I mean? To not be as nervous. But he said you'll never get invited to a room that you're not supposed to be in. Kind of like saying like you're never going to be in a situation that you shouldn't be in because like you worked for that situation or whatever. Like you worked.
Yeah, it's surprising. I think everybody. They talk about imposter syndrome, right? And it's right, because you never, when you get to a certain place, it's like, why am I here? But it's like, all right, everybody here, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We're gonna get to a few more comments, but I got some good questions. I asked AI, ChatGPT. They know who you are. First of all, I said, "Do you know Ben Chan?" They're like, "Yeah, we know Ben Chan. He's Jeopardy genius over here." All right, so we go. I won't call you genius. I apologize for that. So, like, when you're preparing for Jeopardy, first of all, before we get into that, how did you, like, get on Jeopardy? Like, was that a dream? And I actually did watch some videos on you because, like, I researched some stuff. I tried to prepare. But how did that all come to play? Like, was it something that you, like, I want to be on Jeopardy? Or did, like, it just come to be because like I wasn't supposed to be a podcaster. It just kind of came to be, and like I don't know, probably still shouldn't be, but like for you it's different.
Yeah, what are you doing there? What? Yeah, so no, I think as somebody who enjoyed the show throughout his entire life, right, it's something you think about as being, yeah, it's a cool show. So like any show you think is cool, would be like, oh, that could be cool if I'm on there. I think it
Yeah,
was. I did have like when I got into middle age and started, not to make it dark, but like, all right, so one of my best friends my age, who is younger than me, died, right? And it's like, oh, right, it makes you reevaluate things and makes one of the things I thought about. It's kind of a dumb thing, but I had never had a bucket list before my friend Steve died, and then after he died, it was like, oh, actually, I have to think about what actual bucket list things are. And one of the bucket list things was being on Jeopardy. It's like, why not? Like, kind of what Preston Smith was saying. It's like, why not you? You think like the people who are on there should be there on there more than you should be on there? It's like, no. And I hadn't really thought about that way. So when I thought about that way, actually speaking of number 12, Aaron Rodgers, it was the one experience in my life where I could see why people would start believing in manifesting stuff, because from the moment it became very clear to me that was something that I really wanted and would be cool. It basically happened as quickly as it could happen, from taking the test to passing the test to getting an audition to being on the show. Right. Once I had, obviously it was a lot of luck, but it was just that sort of thing that makes you believe in manifesting. Is like from the moment I really wanted it to me, everything happening, me getting on there, winning a bunch, it happened as quickly as it could have. So it felt like I had manifested it.
dude, I actually gotta believe that because like I remember like back in the day, like when I was first starting this thing, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
and I was kind of like, I would tell my wife that. Not that and a lot of those things didn't happen yet, but like some of them did. Like I'm starting to like grow, and I'm talking to great people like you. I got Packer players on here, and but yeah, like so like you believe in that because like Jim Carrey said that said that he had a check in his wallet for like $10 million or whatever it was, and then he was like, I'm gonna make this much money, and then he ended up getting paid for like The Mask or whatever movie it was at the time.
Yeah.
And but like obviously you have to work for it. Like you can't just
Well, I think it's part of
you
it.
can't just talk about it. But like
It's not gonna. It's what I'd say is being rational about it. It's more something like, for a lot of these things, it's not going to happen unless you fully commit to it, right? And so, and for a lot of things, most of us, for various reasons, we don't fully commit to it because it's risky. This is a very low risk thing to commit to, trying to apply for Jeopardy. And also I think the other thing is like human beings, I've had other situations like this, but it's like human beings are very responsive to the vibe that you're putting out, right? So people will pick up what you're laying down, so to speak, right? So insofar as opportunities depend on what other people see in you, right? You have to want it for yourself before they'll want you to have it, right?
Yeah. Dude, that's some smart stuff right there. That's some good stuff. I feel like I'm learning. Everyone's learning here in the chat. It's hard for me to see the chat. I'm gonna get to these comments, but like, so like growing up, were you like always like the smartest dude, or is this like something that happened? Like I assume it didn't happen later in life. I don't think people get smarter. Like, oh, now I'm smart, but like.
I mean, it goes both ways. I think I was fortunate, right? I grew up in a big city. I was born in New York City, right? So, so I was fortunate to have a balance of two things. One was that I got positive feedback. I got encouragement, right? And people, I was, picked out as somebody to put into, special classes or whatever. And so you need that, right? You need somebody to believe in you. I'm getting a little feedback. I don't know why.
Why is that? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here with the sound.
Anyway, so on the one hand, that I did get that. Oh no, it's throwing me off. So I did get that positive feedback, but I also, because I was in places where I wasn't the smartest person in the room, it was also I don't know. We need to fix that, huh? Sorry, technical
Yeah, we do.
difficulties.
I don't know what's going on with my headphones.
It should have echo. Oh, maybe I should. So I turn. Sorry, everybody.
I think my headphones are the problem. All right. Dude, what
So
is
what?
going on?
So what I saw on audio, they said echo cancellation is not recommended for headphone use. So I turned that off on my end. But maybe I need.
Yeah,
to...
I think my headphones are like
I'll try
stopped
something
working.
else.
Is this might be better? Can
I don't know why I'm hearing you on my laptop. Dude, what's going I think
thank
it's my
you.
phone.
In the meantime, I think people can still hear me. Thanks, Devin. Thank you,
All right.
1992 Rendax.
Yeah, keep her going.
Um, is there a gerbil? I don't even see that. Oh, the
I'm trying
gerbil
to turn
on
my
the
phone
wheel in
off.
Ramage's
No,
head
no.
is getting a
I do that. I've
workout
never
tonight.
done it before.
Really, people are stressed about the Seattle game. Thanks, Devin.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
so I
just
think I got
one
it now.
that we're getting some echo on our side. That's
I think I
what
got
we're
it
trying
now.
to work. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, I apologize. I'll edit that out for the podcast for the audio version. I apologize. We're good now. I don't know. For some reason, my phone kicked in. It started playing the audio over there. But
Okay.
anyways, what were we talking about, Ben?
We were talking about. All right. So.
Now I have so much editing to do. First of all, I want to say that I have so much editing to do. I never edit my podcast. Now I have to edit it. I'm not
Let's
good at it.
go.
But so
Yeah.
Ben,
So I think it was just like I had a good balance of knowing that I was smart, but not being this, but also knowing I wasn't the smartest person in the room. So
and
it's a good balance.
yeah, and so now all my questions are gone because they were all on my phone, Ben. All right, so we're just gonna freestyle this thing. But so yeah, going into Jeopardy, so you have a rehearsal, right? And uh, it's like, how does that go? Like, are you nervous? Are you just like, I don't care? Like, well, let's see what happens. I have a good time. I'm kind of confident. I'm a pretty smart guy. But like, how does that go?
I did a lot of prep, right? So I think the build up to it, there's about a month between when you get the call to be on the show and when your tape date is, right? So
All
I
right.
had about a month to do cramming on things that, I knew you should probably have down very, very well. There's no excuse not to know all the state capitals or the world capitals or
Yeah.
not know every single president, right? Because those things are fairly, it's their lists that show up, right? So that sort of thing. And then once I got there, I think I was relaxed because I knew I had done everything I could do to be in a good position to do well. So to be honest, yes, I was pretty anxious working up to it, but then once I got to the studio, I felt very good.
Yeah. I feel like that's like kind of like what the NFL players say
Yeah.
is like you prepare and like you're as prepared as you can be, and so that
Yeah.
even if it doesn't go well, you're kind of still like, oh, I did the best I can. That's how I should prepare for podcasts. You know what I mean?
That's the
how
next
I
step.
should.
That's the next step for you, Matt.
No, it is. I actually did prepare a lot for this, but I just turned off my phone, and that's where it all is. But so where did like when you're on like the TV, like that first shot of like you're out there. Are you nervous? Are you like the lights, the cameras, and all that stuff? Is that like did that like make it harder? Obviously, I would assume it makes it a little bit harder for like the questions, or are you just comfortable?
I mean, at that point, that's the fun part, right? The nerve-wracking part is like not knowing, not knowing. what the day is going to be like not knowing how much makeup they're going to put on you, not knowing exactly when you're going to tape, right? So that's kind of the stuff they kind of talk about since we're a football podcast. It's just like that's what players struggle with in the Super Bowl if it's the first time because the timing is so different, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know what the day, you don't like press. It's such a weird build up to it, and I think that's the part about in the show is like, oh, I knew I could if I just showed up for the game itself, I'd be good. But then you worry about what everything surrounding the game is going to be like how many hours am I going to have to wait before I get to play, things like that. And so when I went back for the like Tournament of Champions, I was much more relaxed. There was much less anxiety because those variables I knew how those variables would play out. Like I knew how much waiting time there was. I knew what kind of snacks. I knew where their bathrooms were, right? Kind of that kind of thing.
Snacks.
Uh,
That's what's important.
yeah, exactly, right? I say Iowa Joe asked you to get the questions beforehand. No, you definitely do not, right? So that's a question that comes up a lot. You
Good
do,
question.
what you can see is they have archives online where you have basically every episode ever, and they have all the clues. So you can review that. So in that sense, insofar as the future shows are going to be like past shows, you get a sense of the range of topics, right? You get a sense of, if you're keeping up with current events, the sorts of current event stories that they'll likely to ask about, but you don't get anything about specific categories for your games.
Was there a question like on that show where you like I have no idea, but you got it right? Or like
There was
no idea, but like you're just not sure a little bit.
Yeah, I think there are a few where you don't know where, like, I don't know how I know that, right? There's a question about, like, I think it was one of Ronald Reagan's cabinet secretaries, and they showed a picture, and George H. Herbert Walker Bush, his cabinet secretaries, one of the two. I don't even know. So they showed a picture. I buzzed in. I don't know why I buzzed in. I just felt like I might have known it. I regretted buzzing, but then there's a name that popped to mind, George Schultz, and it was the right name. I don't know why I knew that because I would have seen him on the news when I was like 5 or 6 years old, but I happened to know it, right? So yeah, there's things where it's like, I don't know why I knew that.
Yeah. It doesn't happen to me.
No, sure. It's like, that's the cool thing about the show. It's just like if we started asking you random Packers stuff, like all these things that you don't realize that you remember, you'd remember, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would remember a little bit.
Yeah, you'd remember a lot of stuff. If I made you write down 1,000 Packers facts right now, it would be hard for you to come up with 1,000 Packers facts. But if I asked you the right 10,000 questions, you could probably come up with 10,000 Packers facts, right?
Yeah, because I got a few for you. I got help from AI a little bit, but a lot of them are my own because they were flaking out on me. But yeah, so like being on a show, like what is one thing about being on Jeopardy that people probably like the common person doesn't know if they don't like deep dive into it? Like what is like I don't know. That might be a hard question, but like, is there something that like being on that show, like most people, especially people who watch? Because
I think a lot of people know, but you don't kind of realize is that they tape 5 shows in a day, right? That's probably the most basic thing, right? So like, there's like, welcome back, Ben. Did you enjoy your weekend? I was like, no, I didn't have a weekend. I just saw you yesterday, right? Or it's like, so that's the one you might realize it. Like if you thought about it, you'd realize, oh, maybe they tape more than one a day, but they tape 5 a day. And then you kind of, as a viewer, you don't appreciate like, oh, why is he playing so bad today? It's because this is like the 5th show he's played.
He's tired. He's tired. He's tired, and his brain is not all up the reps.
Yeah.
That's how my brain operates every day.
Yeah.
That's why.
And so I think that side of the where my wife and I were just watching this reality TV show, a great Korean show called Culinary Class Wars. It's just a cooking competition. But after going through just, taping a television show, competition show, you kind of see, you start thinking more about those kinds of things. the logistical side behind the scenes. Like the big thing for me is like I'm wondering how long did it take to tape this? Are they taping this the same day they taped that last episode? How tired
Yeah.
are these people? Right? Yeah. What? That's the thing that's the thing that I think the most about now when I watch the reality TV shows.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I bet that is because like players kind of do that same thing. Like when they watch football games, they can't watch it. It's almost like watching
Yeah.
film for them. Like because they don't. They
It's like work. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So they can't. They don't watch it like we watch it. But when you got that first win, what was that
Yeah,
like?
that's
Like
the best.
the
There's
feeling
nothing
inside.
like that. That's so much. It's so great. It's like there's no feeling that compares to that for that show because that's the big. It's like You only get one shot to play, right? You do a fair
Yeah.
amount of prep, and then if you lose, you never get to play again, right? So there's nothing that compares to the first win for that reason. Um, yeah, it's pretty. It's a huge relief, right? Because you just, I think the main thing that the contestants say, I'm in touch with a lot of them now, is really the best thing about playing Jeopardy is playing, right? So it's just if you lose, it's just sad that you don't get to play anymore, right? So, obviously I did well, and the best thing about doing well was I got to play more than almost anybody has ever gets to play, other than like the Ken Jennings of the world.
Yeah. So like, how many times did you win? You won a bunch.
I won 9 regular season things, and then I got to the finals of the tournament. So all in all, I played 18 games. So
Dude.
yeah, it's like
What?
that's like it's like you're lucky if you get picked to play one, right? And then um, obviously getting on the show is the luckiest. There are hundreds of thousands of people that apply, and then a couple hundred that get to play. And so getting to play once is like chance of a lifetime. And then if you know
18 times.
you're right, exactly. Among the lucky,
18
yeah,
times. There's not many
yeah,
things
it's
I've done
crazy. Yeah.
18 times. Almost nothing that I like I've done 18 times.
Right, exactly.
So,
So yeah.
how many people have played like more than you? Is there like, are you like on the top whatever list?
Yeah, and I'm top 20 or something like that.
Oh, that's nothing. On Jeopardy, a show that's been going on since I was an infant.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy to think about. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? It's
That is awesome, man.
It's
That is
crazy.
So like what was it like, I don't mean to bring up bad vibes, but like what was it like when it was over? I watched that video
Yeah.
today. Cuz like first of all,
Uh,
I'll say that about YouTube is like I put in your name Jeopardy and they wanted to show me. They just wanted me to see when you lost. I was like, I want to see when he won cuz I'm not a big Jeopardy guy. First of all, watching Jeopardy makes me feel very stupid cuz I don't know any of the like I'll watch it with my wife and she'll be like, "Colorado. What is Colorado?" And she'll be like just yelling out stuff. I'm like, how do you know that information? Like, and then she'll be right. If she's wrong, you got to drill her. I'm like, hey, that was wrong. You're an idiot. No, I don't say that. But I forgot the question I was asking. But yeah, like,
what's
you
it like to
remember.
lose
Oh yeah. What was
Yeah.
it like when it was over? I don't mean to bring up bad
when it's
vibes
over?
here.
No, I mean it's because I had a
Can't go on.
good run. I
YouTube.
think the thing that's hard, like what you mentioned about players watching games, is that it's kind of hard to enjoy watching the game anymore. But not because I still enjoy watching, but it puts me in a super competitive place. Right? So like when I'm watching, I feel like I'm competing against the people who are playing, even though I'm not. Right? So it gets me back in the framework of. I think that's when you're talking about players. That's what I thought. It's like it must be really hard for. That's players. Like they say when the season's over, it's like I'm not going to watch the rest of the season because it's like I want to be playing. I don't want to be watching them, right? So I think that's the place where you feel it is. It changes now your ability to watch as just enjoying as an observer.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine because that's what I'm built like. You know what I mean? Athlete, super
It's like seeing an
genius.
an ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Something
I don't
like
even have
that.
that. I've been married for like 20 some years. And so I don't even have that, Ben. I don't even have that. But I have some good questions over here. We're
Yeah,
going
I
to do
saw
some
some
Packers
things.
trivia
I
over
think
here.
Baghdad is the capital of Iraq. Somebody asked that.
Yeah. I was looking at some of these questions over here.
Um,
I think Christy asked something. Let's see what Christy asked. Probably something really good. I couldn't see
no.
this screen is so small. I have to fix my screen situation.
So she
But anyways,
asked, yeah,
what do you got? Can you see it?
what's my latest tattoo?
Yeah. What's your latest tattoo, Ben? How many
No, it's
tattoos you
kind
got?
of, I have, I have 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Woo!
But I got one. There's a wedding downtown Green Bay. There's a venue called Gather where they do a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And so I was down there, and I kind of got to live out my lifelong dream because um, somebody, I got to kind of crash the wedding because somebody
Oh.
in the wedding recognized me. But they had something I hadn't seen at a wedding before, which was an actual like real tattoo booth where you could get like little tattoos as part of the wedding. And so I got a little tattoo at the wedding.
You want to say what
Yeah.
it is?
It's like my wife's initials. That was good.
There you go. That's
Speaking of
pretty
being
cool thing to
married.
have at a
Yeah.
at a wedding.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. It was a fun time.
Yeah. First of all, get a bunch of hammered people. Not that you were hammered, but like I would be. I never been to a wedding sober. I'm not going to your wedding. If it's a sober wedding, don't invite me because like I go to
And
weddings.
we got to
to get
talk.
hammered.
When are we going to talk about the Packers? I took all these
Yeah.
notes. I took all
Yeah.
these. I
Yeah.
was watching the game very carefully. And I took all
So,
these notes on the
what do you
game.
want to do first? The Packers trivia, or do you want to talk about the Packers?
Let's
Like
do maybe the Packers trivia is a good segue between talking about Jeopardy and talking about the Packers. So we'll start with Packers trivia and then talk about the
all right.
Packers. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, get real close to the camera here because I got some. So some of these are easy because I know that you know all the information in the world,
No, I
but
don't.
but when it comes to Packers, it might not. So I kind of want to see the knowledge you got. Kind of a test frame.
Oh
This is a
no, this is
control.
bad.
All right, so
It's rough. So I think I told Matt I grew up in New York City. I've lived in Green Bay for the past 10, 12 years. So if it's from the past 10 or 12 years, I might be okay for the Packers, but before 2011, it might be tough
yeah,
for me.
because you're
I
you're
would
new.
need New York Giants trivia.
Yeah. And I don't know any New York Giants trivia except for like when they beat the Packers in 2007. But that's not one of the questions because I don't like to talk about that day. But here we go. This Hall of Fame coach led the Packers to 5 NFL
Hey,
championships in 7 years.
well, it's a fellow, speaking of transplants from New York. I hope this is fellow transplant Vince Lombardi.
You're supposed to say who is Vince
Who
Lombardi.
is? Who is? That's good. Yeah, it's who is Vince Lombardi? Hopefully,
Dude,
fingers crossed.
is that hard to like remember to say it that way when you're on the show?
No. Once in this context of the game, it's just automatic. I think it just.
Oh yeah,
goes
you're
back
there.
to,
You're all dressed up nice on the stage.
yeah.
Everyone, you don't forget where you're at. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna let that pass. So first
Oh
of all, we're
boy.
not gonna.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
not
you.
that.
That's what they do on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. We're not that spicy over here. All right. So this wide receiver. This is not a
Oh,
Packer question. This is an NFL question.
oh,
This
that's
wide
good.
receiver holds the record for most career receiving yards and touchdowns in NFL history, and played the majority of his career with the San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
It seems perhaps unbreakable records. Who is Jerry Rice?
There you go. All right, we got to make sure we're giving a round of applause for you. You know what I mean? We have a studio audience here, there, Ben. You know what I mean? All right, so like, dude, I have to work on this because I can't see nothing. All right, so here we go. The next one. In
Oh,
1956,
huh.
this rival team helped the Green Bay Packers by purchasing a large block of game tickets, ensuring the Packers didn't face financial ruin.
I'm not that confident about this, but I feel like it could be our biggest rivals, who are the Chicago Bears.
There you go.
Hey, okay.
Ah! Dude, this guy just knows stuff. He just knows stuff. You
You're
know what I
very
mean?
kind. You're very kind.
All right, so here goes another
Softballs. You're giving me some softballs.
one. This Packers coach liked to say, "It's like anything."
Oh, okay. So this might be. Maybe I wasn't watching enough news conferences. So It's going to be a toss-up between, for me, Holmgren or McCarthy.
There you go. We'll give it to you. You said
Oh.
one of them. Hey, Mike McCarthy.
It sounded
Mike-
like McCarthy. He still says it. He still says it. Yeah,
He
I think he
does.
still says it.
I think
yeah.
it's funny because they can ask him anything. He's like, it's like anything. It's
kinda
like
like that.
anything.
I've got
I
a
tried-
soft spot. I've got a soft. I think the Cowboys make a mistake if they fire him. Really.
Oh, I love me some Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Like my wife will ask me something. Are you drunk? I'm like, hey, it's like anything. Sometimes you drop stuff. It's like anything. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get.
I was going to say McCarthy if push came to shove. So
yeah.
I feel
McCarthy
good.
was the right one right here.
Yeah.
Now we got this Packers fan was NFL Fan of the Year and raises more money for Jude's Children's Hospital than any content creator. Do you know who this man is?
Is it Matt Ramage?
No, it's definitely not
It's
Matt
not
Ramage.
I don't know who this. I actually don't know this. Who is this?
It is Tom Grossi.
We're
We're gonna give you that horn.
Sorry,
is not for Tom
Tom.
Grossi. It's for
I'm
you.
sorry,
Look,
Tom.
Tom Grossi was NFL Fan of the Year, Packer Fan of the Year, and
Oh,
he raised.
awesome.
I think he raised like over $10,000. Last night I donated 20.
really?
I had 20 on it. I'll give you 20. That's all I got. No, but
That's cool.
Tom
Thanks,
Grossi
Tom.
does. Yeah, he does great stuff for great people, and shout out to Tommy
Cool.
Grossi.
Shout to Tommy.
All right, so here we go again. Which
All right.
Packers coach refers to hot piss the most?
I don't.
Which Packers coach refers to hot piss the most?
I don't know. It's just who's Matt LaFleur?
Yeah! There you go, because I don't remember any coach ever referred. So there we go, Ben.
I'm good at guessing. I'm a good
Dude.
guesser. Yeah.
I remember one time in science class, 6th grade. I remember it vividly, Ben. All right? I guessed on every question on the whole thing. And I had the best grade, and the science teacher had to stand up and say, Matt Ramage has the best grade, even though they're like C's. Right down the slot. But I got the best grade. But
Here we got a question. That's pretty
we
good.
got Keith. Ben, how long did you have to wait to go on Jeopardy after applying to be on it? I think you had this earlier. You said this.
Yes, but there's mixed, but it wasn't the time. You can apply every year or so. So from my last application to getting on, it happened very quickly, like a year, right? But the first time I applied, now I remembered it was a long time ago. I applied a long time ago when I was in graduate school, because I lived out in Los Angeles when I was in grad school. And that was back in the day where you could all the auditions were in person. So I went down to the studio and auditioned to that. So if you count that as part of the process, then I had to wait 22 years, between the first application to when I actually got on. So, but I didn't apply every year, but still, yeah.
Dude, so you were trying like for a long time.
Yeah, I tried every
And then
couple
when you got
of
on,
years,
you were like, oh, this is my show now.
Well, that's also the thing, right? It's like, as a 25-year-old, I might not have realized like what a unique opportunity is, right?
Yeah.
Whereas at a 45-year-old, there's like, you're not going to get many. Like at 25, it's like the world is still your oyster. You have so many different opportunities. At 45, it's like, this is the last cool thing I'm going to get to do ever.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
But you have that feeling. It's not true, but you have more of that urgency, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get to a question here. Ed the Diver. He said, Ben, are you in a bathroom? Like, what's
Nah.
going on behind you? Where
Otherwise,
are you
if we
at?
took it down the screen, we'd be like, you'd see, like, you could see my basement, You could see
It's a good basement.
my Kirkland signature chicken broth.
Oh, there you go.
If I wanted to get the Costco, sponsored by Costco thing, maybe I'd take
There
down
you
the
go.
screen.
Let's get
But
the
it's like
sponsors rolling.
the Costco shelves, Yeah.
That's a good setup you got there. Better than mine.
Yeah, it's good. It's
know what I
keeps it's my I guess my man cave. It's my man cave.
All right, so let's get to a comment here from Lori. She's got a trivia question for you. She says, Packers trivia question. What did Brett Favre wear on his
Oh.
wrist during games that his daughter gave him for good luck. I ain't gonna lie
That's
to you,
good.
Ben. I have no idea.
You don't know. So I don't know either, but my guess would be from daughter, it could be like a scrunchie?
I would think maybe a bracelet. Like I have this little, I have a bracelet I got
Yeah.
from Packers tailgate party one
Okay,
time.
yeah,
I
there's
still
a
wear. But
like
yeah,
yeah,
I would
either
guess.
one of
So
those two
Lori,
things.
don't
Is it
ask
right, Lori?
questions.
What's
Yeah, give
the
us the answer. Let us
what is
know
it?
what's what. You know what I mean?
Is Lori
so
still with us?
yeah, I think she's still there. So let's get to while we wait for Lori. We'll get back to that one. I want to get to another one over here that I got. All right, so the Super Bowl champion. Okay, this is a great question right here, Ben. You ready for this one? This Super Bowl champion had a fake field goal for a touchdown against the Chicago Bears.
Wait, so this Super Bowl champion, it's a Packer?
It's a Packer player. Do you want me to give you a hint of what position he
Yeah.
plays?
Oh, yeah, give me a hint. I'm
It's
not
a
above
ti-
taking a hint.
It's a tight end.
Tight end.
A
So
tight
he
end.
had
83.
not Chewy?
No.
No, you can't talk
2010.
about Chew.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl
We can't talk about
45.
Chew.
He's a Super Bowl 45 champion.
No, Super Bowl 40. What's
It's 2010.
who's that guy?
Tight
What's
end.
that guy?
Tattooed.
What's that guy's name?
Tattooed.
Oh no!
Got
What's
a
his
tree in
name?
his name.
He's got a tree in his name. What tree does he have in his name?
His first
What?
name. His first name is similar to Tommy Boy.
Oh, that's it. Oh no, that you're digging me a deeper hole. Right, so he has
This is getting disrespectful.
He
This
didn't.
is
No, he
getting
didn't.
disrespectful.
No. What kind of tree? What kind of tree? Just give me a hint of
Like
the
a
tree.
crab tree. A crab tree.
It's not like a crab tree. Wait, what do you
it's
mean it's like a crab tree?
Tom Crabtree.
Tom Crabtree? That's before that. Yeah, who is this guy? Tom Crab.
No.
Oh, sorry, Tom Crabtree.
He's the man.
That's
Tom
really
Crabtree's my guy.
Tom Crabtree's. Who's this Tom
Yeah.
Crabtree?
No. I'm gonna send this clip.
I'm sorry, Tom
This
Crabtree.
is disrespectful, Ben Chan. Jeopardy champion. All champions should stick together.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you
Oh,
done
I'm
did
sorry,
it now.
Tom
No,
Crab-
first of
oh,
all,
boy.
Ben, I'm gonna tell you about a
Oh,
story that
whoa.
Tom Crabtree
He went
once
to
told me.
Miami of Ohio. Wow.
Yeah, he's very good. Let me tell you a story about Tom Crabtree, Ben. After he won the Super Bowl, you ever watch Entourage?
So as a rookie, as he won the
You ever
Super Bowl.
watch the show Entourage?
I know of it. I know the
Yeah.
show.
So there's a character on that show, Vinny Chase's brother, Drama.
Okay.
You know, and after the Super Bowl, Tom Crabtree took a shot with him at the hotel. Johnny Drama was there taking shots with him. Tom Crabtree, Super Bowl champion. Put some respect on his name, Ben.
Respect on Tom Crabtree's name.
Yeah.
Put
some respect on it.
It's the GOAT, Miami, Ohio tight end.
There you
maybe.
go. We got him turned around there, Tommy. No, but Tom Crabtree's the man. But Ben, you are also the man. All right. But so we got another one, and then we're gonna get back to the comments to see if Lori is gonna.
She did. Rubber. I was close.
Hang on.
I said scrunchies. The correct response is rubber bands and lots of them. He wouldn't take them off. He collected them in 1998. Thanks, Lori.
There you go, Laurie. I appreciate that. So we got one more question here that I had tuned up, and then we'll get to another comment, and then we'll see where we go from there. But this former Packer never lost to the Bears and wore number 91. I'm trying to help you out right out the gate on this one.
91.
right.
Defensive end.
He is a linebacker. He currently plays for the Steelers. He played for the Packers this season, but not anymore.
Wait, he did? Uh-oh. So
he's been on my podcast. I know you don't miss an episode.
wait, who was it? No, I think was there a picture of him is there a picture of him in the intro? No.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
What's his name? Oh no.
Sergeant Preston.
It is it's Preston Smith.
Yep,
Preston.
there you go.
Here's Preston.
And we're gonna give that to you. We're gonna give it to you too. You know what I mean?
We're just.
You got that one right.
Well, I'm sorry, everybody.
No,
Did
yeah.
my best.
No, I think you did fantastic. I think you're a great guest to have on.
But I got to run some Packers ideas by you. You know.
All right. So what do you got? Let's talk about some Packers right here.
So
But hey,
Lions game.
Hang on. Before we get into that, can we?
Yeah.
We're on a fence together.
Oh yeah.
Let's interlude this into that because I want to give a shout to Katie because the house that the fence is on. But I actually have some pictures of us on the fence. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find the right pictures. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that's me and you right there. That's the day we met. We're right in front of the fence, covering up that beautiful mug, and all right, that's the house. But let's just give a shout to this house real quick. All right, so this house is right across. Anyone who knows, right across from Fox 11. All right, it's right down the street from the Lambeau Field. They have a beautiful house over here. I don't know what's going on there, why that's looking that way. Anyways, we're gonna keep it moving over here. I think I'm screwing it up, Ben. I'm screwing it up. All right, so we're back over here, but they have a beautiful house over here, and that's the living room or the living area, and that's us again. I don't know why that keeps showing us, but let me just read this real quick. I just want to read this real quick. Oh, hang on. Oh, I screwed it up. But yeah, they have let me break it down for you. They have a 4-bedroom house that comfortably sleeps 8. There's an incredible Packers cave downstairs with a projection screen and a Pac-Man machine, perfect for your crew to hang out before or after the game. The house also features a full kitchen, a spacious living room, and a 55-inch smart TV in every single bedroom. Ideal for relaxing and for the big win. All right, so let's get down here to the. This was going for I can't find it because it's hard for me to read this. It's so small, but it was $1,200. It's $800 a night now. Be sure to check it out. They're very good people, first of all, because when you do Airbnbs, I always feel sketchy about it. But they're good people, right close to Lambeau Field, a great party spot, and mine and your face is out on front of it. So on the fence. So let me get this off here. I'm not sure which one this is. But anyways, so let's talk about some Packers now, Ben. What do you got?
Yeah. So it's interesting, now that ever since the Giants were, when they were 2-7, I switched my attention over to the Packers. I can devote all of my NFL viewing time to the Packers. I watched the Lions game pretty carefully. The Lions are really, really good.
Yeah. We saw that firsthand.
The Lions, I don't know, the Lions short passing game is amazing, right? So that's going to be. So, but the big thoughts, I think, on the Packers were, okay, so I don't want to, open up wounds, but Eli Manning came into Lambeau twice, right?
All right.
And beat. No, but I mentioned that because the Giants in those days when they were good, we had a competent clutch quarterback, but it was we're based on defense and running game, right? And so in January in Green Bay, having Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, that edge is negated by the conditions, right? So that's what was always a little bit paradoxical about those teams is, yes, you got home field advantage, but your home field advantage was actually a disadvantage for your style of play. Because
it happens.
Right? And so what they're doing with the team now being run first, right, makes a lot of sense, makes more sense for, NFC North, right, than, the Aaron Rodgers model, really. Aaron Rodgers in his prime. So I like, this direction of the team. I think bodes well for the future. It's going to be more consistent in December and January than the 2010s teams, I think.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs absolutely
Right?
getting after it. I
Yeah.
want to get to this question from Lori over here. She said, Ben, are you going to experience the NFL draft here in April? You going
I
to the
think we have
draft?
we have no choice but to experience it, right? I
So,
think we're all going to be experiencing it.
like, I want to get back to the Packers, but this thought
Yeah,
popped
yeah.
in my head, and that's kind of how I work. Things pop in my head, I have to say them. But
Sure.
why did you move to Green Bay? Like, you weren't a Packer fan before that, right? You just decided Green Bay was the spot because you're from New York.
Yeah, I
Not
decided
because
to
you're
come here. I came here actually for the job at St. Norbert College. So
okay.
I was really relocated for the job, and like we wouldn't. My wife and I think, wouldn't move even if our professional situations changed. We would want to stay here. So
You love it, huh?
yeah.
So you're a professor, like you're teaching, you're molding young minds, and maybe they're watching this right now. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Professor Professor Chan's getting interviewed by a drunk guy. Like, what do you want to say to your students right now?
Well, it's like, why don't listen to this? You listen to me enough already. Go do something fun.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Why
the
are
cool
you
thing.
studying?
Why aren't you? If you're gonna listen to me, you might as well study. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen to this show.
Yeah.
Listen to your conversations and listen to all the learnings you're doing because you're not learning nothing. I always say that on my show, no learning.
Well, nobody's learning anything.
No one's not even about the Packers. You're not even getting any smarter on the Packers. You're just listening to some people ramble. But yeah. So the Packers, all right, they played the Seahawks. They played the Lions tough. A lot of penalties.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are talking about the penalties. I don't make excuses. You either win or you lose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't say it when it benefits the Packers, and then when it doesn't, be like, well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
BS. I feel like that's just what the NFL is. The refs make bad calls.
It's like weather. It's part of the
Yeah,
the variables. Yeah.
yeah, because like if you're a roofer, you got to be pretty on point. If you're a weather person, you could be off a little bit, but if you're off, you know what I mean?
It
Or
is
like
a
even
little. Yeah, I think I'm ambivalent about this. I think, yeah, it's like, as a fan, it's like the last refuge of a scoundrel to complain about the refs, right? It's like,
Yeah.
come on. But
It's just
then
part of
also
it.
the refs should be better. It's like the NFL refs are kind of,
Dude,
it's a little embarrassing for the multi-billion-dollar industry to have reffing like this.
dude, that's the thing, because I'm not complaining about the refs in that Lions game, because
Yeah.
that Lions game is
Yeah.
over. It is what it is. That happened. But a lot of teams across the league get screwed by the refs, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's weird to me because, like, I've heard stories like refs are lawyers, refs are different jobs. Pay the refs a good amount of money and say, hey, this is your job. I'm not saying they can't do stuff outside, but, like, these are the hours you have to work. I want you to do this, this, and that. We're going to pay you a boatload of money because they have it.
Seems
right?
like it's worth.
Pay them fair. Pay them a
Seems
fair
like
wage.
it's worth.
You
Seems
know
like
what I mean?
it's
And
worth.
then, like, players get fined. You can't fine refs if they're not making that much money. Pay your refs a decent amount. I'm not saying fine them or whatever. Like, maybe if they make
It's
mistakes,
a hard.
but you can't fine them
yeah.
unless you're paying them. You got to pay them though. Pay them.
Yeah, it's a hard. Yeah, on the one hand, it's a hard game to officiate. Fast, lots of things happening. On the
Yeah.
other hand, it's clear like the NFL could do a better job. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, let me ask this, because Ben, you're a smart fella, right? So let me ask this: why don't they just have a ref up top who has the screens, can watch the game like the announcers do, but also has like HD, the best TVs, big, so we can see it, not watching it through a Microsoft because they're the sponsor, a little tablet. No, well, let's watch it on a big screen, and then he's up top or she, and then they say, hey, that was wrong. And they can buzz in. That was wrong. Here's the call. Then they change it because that guy or that person up there seen it all, and they can just get it right in an instant. You don't have to like replays and all that stuff. I don't know.
I think to their credit, the replay system has gotten better. You don't see them going under the hood for 5 minutes very much anymore. Like they do a lot of the expedited stuff, and so I think to the credit, like it's moving in that direction, right? Where it's just they've done that better.
Yeah, New York ships in and like, hey, that was.
They'll just tell you right away. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
they've actually, it's much more watchable than it was 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So all right, so the Packers take on the Seahawks this week, right, Ben? And
Yeah, I don't. Are people worried about this? Why are they so
are
worried?
I'm not worried. I've never been worried for Packer in my
Yeah,
life. You know, what I mean,
yeah.
I've only been let down. I get let down after the game. I'm not worried before it. But
The
Packers are in position
Seahawks.
for a playoff run, right? They're
Yeah.
uh they're uh they're 9-4 right now. I didn't
Uh-huh.
even know it was week 15. It seems like the season's going by so fast, but
It's gone
it's week
fast.
15. Packers are in good situation. They got to keep winning. Seahawks,
Yeah.
they're not a scrub team. They got some guys over there like they can get some stuff happening. Um, I think it has. I think who wins the game is going to be the offensive line and defensive line on both sides. Like who wins that matchup, I feel like is going to win the game because I heard
Yeah.
people say the Seahawks have a bad offensive line.
Mm,
Packers pass rush is kind of hit and miss. Like Rashawn Gary's
yeah.
getting up there, but the Seahawks got some guys that can get after the quarterback too. I feel like the Packers offensive line, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, stand tough, punch people in the face if you have to, not literally, but like I feel like whoever wins that matchup is going to win. Who do you think wins this game?
Uh, I think I didn't see this. I think I saw the Seahawks earlier in the season when they weren't playing as well, and so I might be biased. But it seems to me the Packers are the more talented team. Um, it's tough. Seattle's a tough place to play, but I would, I would pick the Packers. I mean, one of the
I'm with you.
things, yeah, one of the things people say Jordan Love, right? What I, what became clear actually, and should give Packers fans hope, I think, is that some of the turnovers or those really bad turnovers, probably him being hurt contributed a
Oh
lot
yeah,
to them, right? Because there were these weird things where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to try to get away. Oh, it turns out I can't get away because I'm hurt. So I'm going to try to throw it, but I can't even throw it that well because I'm hurt." And so I'm throwing this weird semi
yeah.
trash pass, and then it's a pick six. And actually, as I think they were talking about during the game, the Lions game was the first time maybe since like week one where he looked completely healthy, right? And I think actually that's when you saw his turnovers, there were these bad turnovers, but they weren't exactly mental errors. It wasn't like he made the bet wrong read. They were just these weird
Yeah,
things.
there
And I
was
think it
some
turns out it
bad.
was because it was when your legs aren't really working right, stuff like that happens.
Yeah, there was a couple that were like probably shouldn't have thrown that area, but yeah, there was a lot
Yeah.
like that one where he kind of like
Ugh.
threw it, looked like he was trying to throw it over a guy, and he kind of went to
Yeah.
the defensive lineman. We don't like to talk about those on this show,
No,
but
but it's good because it's like I think that cost him, but it was because turns out he's healthy now, and he wasn't really healthy before. So, hopefully he
yeah,
stays healthy. Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited for healthy Jordan Love. Let's get to a
yeah,
comment over here. Rick says, Ben, gonna have to join us all Sunday night
am
for
I?
Matt's live stream and chime in with us all. Dude, have you ever
Well,
have you ever caught any of my live stream for like a game?
I have
Probably
not. So
not.
maybe
Yeah,
that would be
probably
the
not.
way.
You have a
Would that be the
life.
way to?
That's fine. But I just yell and scream about the Packers. We have a good time. Rick's always
Yeah.
there. We have a good time. Lori's there sometimes. Uh, does
Number
Ben
10
have a
was it?
podcast? And
Oh no.
how many podcasts do you do? A lot. Everyone's talked to Ben.
Yeah, everybody. I don't have a podcast, but I've been on a podcast.
It,
I don't
is
really
this the
like.
best one you've ever been on?
Yeah, I think this is but this has been fun. This has been maybe the most fun because
Oh,
it's easy. I grew up on sports radio, really.
yeah.
That's what I listened to the most when I was a kid in New York. WFAN in New York. Mike and the Mad Dog, Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
those
like,
guys. Yeah, they're good. What's happening over here? Not so much.
oh no, it's great, but it's like my earliest. It made me. I don't know. I think it messed up my mind, right? Because it was like, well, I'm a philosophy professor. I think some of it comes from that, like listening to people argue, try to come up with arguments for these weird
Yeah.
positions. Like, there's nothing more philosophy than like arguing about who like the greatest of all time is, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But then it's also like people have the most ridiculous takes.
Yeah, some people are just stupid. And I don't mean that as in a bad way, but like what's your first memory of like sports? Like, you grew up in New York, was it the Giants? Was it uh do you remember like the first Super Bowl that you watched?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the first Super Bowl. I think 25, Phil Simms. Um, I think I actually the first Super Bowl I remember watching, sorry, was like the Bears crushing the Patriots.
Yeah.
Willie Galt and then Refrigerator Perry and Jim
We don't talk
McMahon.
about that one on this podcast either,
But it
but
was like
just kidding.
no, but that was the first one I watched, and I was like, woof.
I
Even
don't know if I remember watching that one. I'm sure I did, but I remember watching the Washington, now Commanders.
yeah,
I think they're playing the Bills. I was at my friend's house, my neighbor's house.
yeah.
I got excited. Big
Mark
dog in the
Rippin.
house. I jumped up on the couch. Dog locked on my butt cheek, right butt cheek, locked on. I'm screaming. I'm standing on his couch, just getting locked in on, and then they yelled at me like, "Hey, why are you getting the dog all excited?" I'm like, "Dude, the dog took off half my cheek, bro." They didn't care, but I think that's like my first memory, the one that sticks out because when you get bit by a dog, you don't forget that stuff.
Don't
You know what I
forget.
mean? But
Yeah, that's a Mark Rippin. I think that would have been.
yeah,
Yeah, the
I'm not
Bills.
sure.
That's rough. The Bills. That those 4 Super Bowls. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I think it's rough for the Bills. I feel bad for Bills fans. But Viking fans lost 4 Super Bowls too.
Yeah.
And I love it. It makes me happy. It gets me through the bad days just thinking about it, Ben.
If you
know
feel
what I mean?
sad, you just remember.
So what is
I'll
your
cheer you
like
up.
the most hated team? Because you grew up a Giants fan. So what is your number one, the team that you just hope they never do nothing?
Well, the team that's actually caused the most heartbreak is the Eagles, but I don't really take joy in them doing badly.
You're a good person. I
But
am
the
not.
Cowboys, I think everybody can enjoy the Cowboys doing badly,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, everyone
It's
can
like
enjoy the.
because of most their fan base, but I think the Jerry Jones, right? We all want to see Jerry Jones cry, right? It's like that
Yeah,
doesn't,
I don't. I don't. I
because
feel
it's
like
very
the
low
Cowboys.
stakes, like. Because it's like I think Jerry Jones makes it easy to root against them because it's like, why be mean towards the poor Vikings fans, right? What have they done to you? But then like Jerry
They're in my
Jones, like it
comments
feels.
talking trash. They're always talking. No, but like the Cowboys for sure. Like, I feel like the Cowboys will never be good with Jerry Jones as the owner because what good coach wants to go there? Even Bill Belichick's like, I'll just go back to college before I want to coach that team because he's so involved. He's so nosy. He's so micromanaging. He's so.
Hmm.
I feel like I've never been a
Yeah,
coach
yeah.
of the Cowboys, but I feel like he's like in their business. He's not letting them just do their job. And
It's tricky, yeah, but the thing is, like, they have. I mean, on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, like, he's not. He knows, clearly knows a lot about football. Like, they've had good teams while he's been running it, but he may be.
he may be
There's
losing
a
or
limit.
slipping a little
Yeah.
bit. He's a little bit older. Yeah, I assume he knows more than me. I work
Yeah,
at a
yeah,
cheese
yeah,
factory. You know what I mean? But we're gonna wrap this thing up so I can get.
yeah, yeah.
But we got Ben, Jeopardy champion, probably the smartest person I've ever had on my podcast. All right, so let's give him a round of applause for that. You know what I mean? But
Thanks.
I'm trying to think of who's the second smartest person I ever had on my podcast. I've had some players on. I'm gonna take them out of it because they're all college educated, so I assume most of them are pretty smart. They didn't stumble upon maybe. I don't. People always talk
I mean, I
about
think that's the thing.
athletes.
It's like,
They
but the
kind
thing
of.
about athletes, it's like you have to be, at that level. They're everybody's ridiculously athletic, right?
Yeah.
And so success in the NFL doesn't come down unless you're an absolute like a freakiest of freaks. It doesn't come down to your athletic ability. It comes down to intelligence, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing that sets just to pick your average NFL starter from a physical standpoint from the average person who gets cut from the last person to get cut on the 53-man roster, right? Other than the mental side, right? Because
Yeah.
they're all right. If you look at their combine stuff or whatever, they're all equally freakish.
Yeah, and like I feel like to learn a playbook, like if you're a
Yeah.
quarterback, especially that's what everyone talks about. Like quarterback, they pretty much have to know what everyone's doing on the team. Not right out the gate, but like over time, like a veteran quarterback, you want them to know everything. But the same thing with like safeties, linebackers, like they have to know. Like they watch film, like these are the tendencies. Like I feel like you have to be smarter than me for sure. Like, I ain't gonna cut it, but I feel like athletes to make it to that level, whether it's NFL, baseball, whatever. I feel like there's got to be a lot of smarts to it. It's not just physical. It's which is a big part of it.
Yeah, it's a complex. It's obviously it's a formula. There's a complicated formula, but a lot of it is, intelligence and knowing how to prepare, knowing how to watch film.
And watching
it's
film,
a game, right? In any game,
watching film, it's kind of like studying, right? You study for a test or whatever, the Jeopardy or whatever, and then when it comes up, like, oh, I studied for this, I kind of remember that. The same thing with players, like they, if you're a linebacker and the running back starts doing a thing, like, oh, I watched the film, this, and he kind of gets it. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm not.
Yeah, but even the little things, just like the pass blocking, the pass. I would like. There aren't that many commentators color commentators on NFL broadcasts that are line players, right? That's usually skill players.
Yeah.
So I wish there were more linemen talking about it, because like the kind of stuff that when you think about that seems super cat and mouse in terms of pass rush, pass blocking kind of thing, right? And it would be interesting to hear the thought process that those guys go through on a play-to-play basis,
Yeah, I think absolutely. Someone said I should throw the fireworks out there, but for some reason they're not here right now, so I'm not gonna do fireworks. But assume some we have a fireworks show, but I just can't find it. Hang on. If I could find it here in a couple seconds. I don't think it's gonna do it, but here we go. So we got Ben Chan, Jeopardy champion. Now we know his story. If you didn't know, now you know. Packer fan, lives in Green Bay, on the fence, right down the street from Lambeau Field. And remember, everyone, if you want to stay in Lambeau Field for that Saints game, and you don't have a place to stay, get some group together. It's $800 a night. And you have a luxury spot to go before tailgate. Our face is outside the fence. Get a nice group together. It's basically free, and have a good time. You know what I mean? I thought about doing it, but I'm poor. You know what I mean? How
many people does it sleep? How many does it sleep?
8 comfortably.
Pretty good.
So that's $100 a person, right?
That's not bad.
And all year sleeping comfortably. But be sure to check it out. If you need a link, you need to where to go, hit me up. I'll let you know. I'll put it in the podcast description. I'll put the link down there for the Airbnb and whatnot. But be sure to check it out. But Ben, good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I had a lot of fun. I didn't get to talk about Tucker Craft.
Oh, no, talk about Tucker Craft. No, real quick. Let's talk about Tucker Craft. Tucker Craft is like one of my favorite players in my fantasy team. Tucker Craft, absolute animal.
Did you see that?
A little bit.
Did you see that kip up he did? That's the move, like the Bruce Lee move.
Yeah, he was on the ground. He was kicked up. What do you got to say about that?
I got to say he's one of the most athletic players on the Packers, I think.
Yeah, he's an absolute. I think he's going to be top 10 in the league.
I think that's the thing. Tucker Craft, Quay Walker. Those are my two. Those are the two in some ways, like the.
Yeah, Quay Walker in the last 2 games, because he got a lot of heat, early on in the season. Yeah. Quay Walker's been picking it up. He played good against the Bears. Played good against I think the Niners.
Had that big fourth down stop against the Lions.
Yeah, I like Quay Walker. You should come back on. We should talk some Packers again.
Yeah, I'll pay more attention to the Packers now.
Yeah, dude, we should do it. I think that you're absolutely awesome. I was talking to someone at work today, and I was like, hey, I got the Jeopardy champion, Mr. Ben Chan, coming on. Like, hey, he lives in Green Bay. I remember them talking about him. So there you go. People remember you talking about you.
Oh, man, I'm looking at these questions. Oh, Matt and Summer. Oh, that's fun. It's a lot of fun, Matt. Thanks so much. Hopefully we get to do it again someday.
Yeah, we absolutely will. We're going to wrap this thing up, folks. I'm going to try to find videos.
That's what's like. I didn't talk about quick trip egg rolls. I didn't talk about any of that.
What's your favorite quick trip food? What's your
Egg
favorite
roll.
quick
Let's
trip
go
food?
the egg roll. The egg roll.
Egg roll? That's where
Yeah.
you're at quick trip, all right? I'm gonna try it because I have never
It's
tried
good
it.
because our family had a Chinese restaurant, and one of the things we did well were egg rolls. The quick trip egg rolls, pretty good.
Yeah, are they good compared to like the original or like the people
Yeah,
who
they're as good. They would be. I'd say they're better than the average Chinese restaurant egg roll.
That's a big compliment. Because
That's
people
pretty
always ask
good.
me about like
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese, and they're like, "Is it as good as this place? Is it? It's like some gourmet macaroni and cheese restaurant." I'm like, "Well, it's good. I absolutely love Quick Trip macaroni and cheese. It's my favorite thing. Like I have to try to not eat it because I'm already fat. Like let me just maybe get a fruit bowl every now and again. Grab a banana. But anyways,
No, what I like outside those little. They have a tiny little bottle of orange juice you can get in the morning. It's like, yeah, that's the exact right amount of orange juice. Yeah.
there we
Anyway.
go. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Big
Sorry.
thanks to Ben. I had a blast, dude. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I was excited to do this. I was a little bit nervous because I was talking to a smart person. I don't talk
Yeah,
to
me
many.
too.
I mean, not that I don't mean to trash every guest I've ever had. I don't talk to many. No, but we're gonna wrap this thing up. Big shout out to Nicolay Law, Quick Trip, all the great sponsors, and we are out of here.
Nicolay, baby. I'll testify my commitment to the truth. Companies